My first inspiration for rugby was undoubtedly my dad. He was like, this is something that would be good for you, and over the years it has turned out. I think definitely not just for me playing rugby, but socially, getting to know people, just the way I've turned out as a person, rugby's definitely played a big part in that. As soon as I was down there, loved every second of it, met loads of new people, made some good friends and loved playing the sport.
And I knew ain't bringing anything to the table except
I was lucky enough to go to a school that encouraged rugby, so as soon as I was playing, I was involved. Developing skills was kind of quite an organic process, so I was down training and getting better, and while I was enjoying myself, you don't really notice that you're training, you just do it for the fun and the enjoyment. Rugby is a team game, and as far as I was concerned, the worst thing I could do on the pitch would be to be in a situation and let the team down. Like, if I was going to make a mistake or do something wrong or make a bad decision, for me that would be like the worst thing I could do on the pitch. Obviously playing rugby for like the best part of my life. I've been playing since I was under 7s, working my way up through to kind of under 16s Colts, and then played some men's rugby at the end. Obviously I knew I wanted to play rugby, it was a big part of my life. Coming to university, the university team was obviously something I wanted to do. Obviously they've got a lot of players coming in from all over the country, a lot of freshers. They need to know who's going to go where in terms of ability, in terms of where they're going to play. So the trial was really just, I signed up for the club down in the Freshers' Fair, and they just give you a time and a date and you turn up.
she said, forget about it, I can't.
My injury came about initially in the actual trial itself. I remember it was a really hot day and the ground was very hard. In a particular tackling zone, just the repetition of my knee hitting the ground as I was tackling people. So it wasn't actually physical, like knock on knock, it was just me hitting the ground as I went to the ground. Just caused my knee to swell up. Initially I didn't think it was that bad. I thought, give it a week, a bit of ice on it would be fine. And I was keen to play. There was a Freshers game against Southampton University Freshers, and I knew that the rugby club were kind of looking at that as well as the kind of tryouts in terms of who'd go where, so that was a big chance to kind of state your claim. In that game against Southampton, I injured my knee quite badly again, but my knee really came up big, and I actually had to be taken away in an ambulance at the end of the game. Initially the paramedic thought it was filling up with blood, unfortunately it wasn't, but as soon as that happened I knew I wasn't going to be able to play for quite a while. Staying motivated when I was injured was definitely quite a hard thing to do. I wanted to make sure I got back as quick as possible, and that was when I really had to kind of sit back and not play and not do anything, so to make sure my knee was fully healed before I went back. Also quite funny, I over Christmas not playing put on quite a bit of weight. Started to notice myself getting a little bit fatter, so I definitely wanted to be back on it just for the fitness side and sort myself out. My recovery was a bit on and off in the fact that I went back a bit too early and I actually hindered myself further because I made the injury worse essentially. When I went back, I knew I was a lot more unfit than a lot of the guys who'd obviously been playing week in, week out. Whilst I was recovering, I'd been doing a few weights and a little bit of running. I decided to blitz myself and I went for every single session I could, went for every run, went into every different exercise as hard as I could. Just managed to assert myself on the training session. After that first training session back after Christmas, I really went for it. Put my hand up. In a couple of mini games we had during that training session, I managed to make a few breaks, run some good lines, and I found out since then that it was actually the head coach that noticed me and said that I kind of made an impression, I guess. Following that week, I was selected for the third team, and again that was through him kind of saying that I need to be playing, which was quite humbling. He called me over and I actually thought I was in trouble because I messed around earlier, but he said no, he'd direct me over to train with the first, which was like, well, I was really pleased with myself because that's ultimately what I want to do. I think my best goal at the moment is within the university teams. Obviously I'm pleased with myself that I've been able to work my way up to the second team, where I think I've secured a starting place in the second team now. So obviously the biggest goal for me now is to work up into the first team. That's where I want to be eventually. Anybody who wants to play for their country or play professionally is like the ultimate goal. It's a dream, and so I'd definitely say that that was something I always wanted to do, but whether I could or whether I can is another matter.